he did get holidays. Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the big match build-up. It's not the big match build-up, it's just the build-up. That's what it's
on ITV from 1970.
Bam, 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 bam.
It was the big, it was us in the 70s. We'd have pipes and we'd all look like we were about 97, even though we were clearly all in our 30s.
30, amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Going there, get us another coffee in, love. Go, so sugars. Go on, just bend over. That's what they like, Andy. No, sugar is that side. If you just bend over, you can get sugar, can't you?
Ashes to ashes.
Yeah.
And slapping the women on the arse and everything.
Get Richie Keys on the go and Andy Gray, to be honest.
Others. Manchester United versus Everton.
It's not where you put spoon.
At Old Trafford.
It can be.
There you go.
Yeah, Everton playing Andy Bass?
Yeah.
Everton have got a game, Mike.
I'm still in Fulham mode.
Right,
yeah, enjoying it.
Till 5 to 8, I'm still in Fulham mode. Absolutely.
Fulhammed up. Oh, there you go. Get your questions in. Get your thoughts in. Yeah, what are we thinking then as we get closer to kick-off? Are you thinking Jake O'Brien at right back and James Garner in midfield? Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think he'll revert to that. Yeah. I'd like to just keep the team I played against Fulham, to be honest. But yeah, I think it'll be Jake O'Brien at right back and James Garner centre mid. You've convinced me he might stick with Barry up front, but I've still got a bad feeling he might chuck better in.
I just think if he took Barry out now when he's just had his best game, that'd be. I mean, I like David Moyes, but that would be a strange move.
Same team that played Fulham.
You think?
Yeah. Why would you change it? What is it's Manchester United.
Right.
Same team.
He has had a history, Moyes, of keeping like with a winning team. That used to be his thing. Years ago, you should be like a winning team. You'd know unless there was like an obvious starter was available again, like say Grealish hadn't been playing and was available, something like that. But he did tend to keep a winning team until it needed. So he might well just go with the same. And I mean, the midfield is the interesting one, isn't it? Dewsbury Hall, I still think is better further back. I think against Fulham, he did take that roll up and drop a bit deeper. He was on the ball and he was brilliant against Fulham. And then you look at Idrissa Gana Gay goes and puts all the fires out. Irabunum, I think, is an interesting one because I think he's got loads of really good attributes and has done quite well. So I'm interested as to how the manager decided on him in there. Because obviously Merlin, I know Rolls at the hernia now, so he's out anyway. I'm just wondering how he got to that rather than Alcaraz maybe higher up the pitch. Do you feel like Alcaraz has been unlucky or what's your view?
The Alcaraz one I find really strange because I think obviously the second half of last season when he come in, he had a good impact on part of why we improved. I also think that rolling in the 10, you want someone to pick the ball and drive forward with it, which he does. Don't get me wrong, it's not like he's unbelievable and he can't not be, but I do think he is getting overlooked. And I think he had a better impact in that position than what Dewsbury Hall has done last season.
I think Dewsbury Hall's been really good for us. I think he's had a couple of games where he's below.
I think he's done well, but
But in that, as what you'd want from sort of a number 10, he doesn't really do that. He's more a busier midfield player, isn't he?
Yeah.
I do think when Alcaraz has played off the striker, he's drove us forward and he runs past the striker, but Dewsbury Hall generally doesn't. I know, Pedge, you feel like he should have had a bit more of a go.
He's a world champion. I expected more out of him. I think that's the only way to say it. He's been all right. Will be all right. He's good in his last game.
Oh, Dewsbury Hall.
Oh, right, sorry. Yeah.
I was asking you about Carlos Alcaraz, but that's fine.
No, I was just moving on from that. No, Alcaraz is just like dead easy to ignore, isn't he? Just like
no, it is though.
He's just like he's the fella, isn't he? He wasn't like a proper signing in the summer. It was like, oh, you should sign him, give him like a 3-month contract or something. And it feels like it's just dead easy to ignore him.
Is he the easy drop? He's always an easy drop, isn't he?
He's so easy to drop. It's just like it's Carlos Alcaraz, which I find weird at times because I think he's a good player. But I don't really know where we are with our subs this season because they're all random, so very random. He's got it there's no pattern, is there, apart from taking centre forwards off at random times, but there's no pattern to like the subs, even like Mail and Roll. Unless he was carrying that hernia, maybe at Sunderland, and maybe that's where they've decided. Maybe that was they've decided nurse it, and then the international break was the right time for him to have the op, so that he can be back for when Adesanya Gay goes, and then he'll come into the team maybe. But
because he had it on the Monday after Fulham, it
feels planned,
like it's already planned. So
maybe it was like felt it against Sunderland, see how it responds against Fulham, and then if it's book him in for an operation, if it's flared up again. And
the issue you've got with him though is, do you think he's even someone you can rely on? Because he does. He's had how many? 3 injuries already?
No, he's had 2. He's had 2 injuries.
The same one twice.
Let's not. I think we can't fall into the trap of becoming that thing where we're like, he's just where we go. He's always injured. I think personally, they may have just tried to bulk him up, and maybe he's responded poorly to that. I think that might be the case.
But his injury record before he got to us wasn't great.
No,
one season.
It wasn't great.
30 games a season.
It wasn't great, but you have to just sometimes take that into isolation. You have to sometimes just take that in isolation, don't you? And just think.
Hopefully, but I just think because I think it's how many games has he been available for? Or 5 or something like that.
He's missed half he only come in late, didn't he? But he's probably missed 3 or 4 games that he should have been available for. Maybe more, maybe one more. But that again, he got a hip injury, didn't he? Come in and played against Villa the first game, done well, and then he picked up a hip injury.
It's frustrating because he's
good, it is, because he looks good.
I want to see him in there.
Yeah.
I think he looks like a very, very sort of Moyes type midfield
he looks
player
like
as well.
Something rare that Everton don't really get is a player who looks like he can just come in and play. And he'll do
comfortable on the ball.
Good on the ball and can get about it, and doesn't look like a period of settling in needed, which they are rare for Everton. They're few and far between those players. But I do think maybe he's had this for a little bit. Maybe he's felt it and he tried to do what, let it settle down. It hasn't settled down, and hopefully that's all it is. And then he is available when Adrissa goes, and he can just be fit then, and because he's 6'3" and can run. He's got the good attributes, so hopefully it's not going to be anything too bad where we do start going, he's just never fit. That's not what we want, is it? So looks like a good player, but we'll see. I just wonder what that makeup will be like.
So I like the idea of, like you say, with Alcaraz playing in the 10 and dropping GB all deeper. I really like Alcaraz. I just think I don't know why it's sort of been forgot by everyone how much of an impact he had the second half last season, and also as well away games as well. He always shows up for them.
I think he's like I said, one of the only players who travels well with the ball, like drives forward.
Not scared to shoot. And looks for the pass. So do you think why Beto liked playing with him last season? He tried, because there was the one at Wolves. Remember we drew 1-1 at Wolves, and he came on and he drove forward and gave Beto that chance near the end, and he took a bit too long and the keeper saved it. But it was when he was like sort of laying them on a plate to him, and I was at Fulham and he slid him in for a goal at Fulham, and at Newcastle I know he was brilliant. He scored the goal, but he'd had another header which Pope made an unbelievable save from, and I was really enthused by seeing him. He's not so much wide.
No, but he gets between the lines, doesn't he? He gets between the lines, and defenders get drawn out to him, and that must be good for centre forwards to get the space behind them. Maybe that's why Beto likes playing with him, because he does create that space for Beto to get into. But for whatever reason, maybe the manager thinks he's lightweight or something. I don't know. But I just think it's like, it is just one of those where you just feel like, it's that easy to drop him. He's coming back, drop him. There's never that feeling of, I don't know how well he'd have to play to stay in the team.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
That's my little worry about it. It's like Moyes has got he did have a fixed 11 that obviously he changed for the last game and become something else. And you just wonder with Moyes, sometimes he defaults to these states of caution when, like, get the points on the board first, and then we'll maybe start going. He had another day, and he was right in what he said. He said, this is the very beginning of a rebuilding program. But I also don't buy into some of the things, because I think to myself, you've got a much better team than we had this time 12 months ago. So you can't stand behind, well, we didn't win our 4th game till January. You got people like Jack Grealish in the team. You got a much better team.
Yeah.
So it's on you to like, for me, sometimes balance it all out, and that's where the subs I find are a little bit meh at times.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what's interesting? He's had 28 games in charge of Everton since he come back.
Yeah.
And he's got 46 points from the 28.
Yeah.
And in his first spell, after 28 games, he had 46 points.
Did he? Yeah.
Exactly the same.
He's a very
'Cause
consistent.
that's what he is,
That's
isn't he?
He's a very consistent manager, isn't he? He's just very, very consistent. It all comes out in the wash. He'll have tough moments, and he'll have. But in many ways, that sort of shows where he's been all his career and why he probably didn't make the step up at Man United. Is that he couldn't get away from that consistency. Couldn't maybe get away from himself in those moments. I've got to like add a little bit to myself here. So that's fine for us right now, isn't it? That's where that's where we need to be. So
it's a real tough one, management, isn't it? When you think about it, it's like we all expect. When you look at it, like it is interesting that you expect a manager to be able to do anything to the team. Do you know what I mean? It's like the players.
Sort of. See, Mike,
Mike, you've done.
Yeah.
Like kids, coach, got your kids' team and things like that. Like you pick what you think are your best players and go out and some weeks the lads will be great, and other weeks they'll be all over it. Won't be all over the place. So is that on you? Is it on them?
That's a little bit different than managing professional footballers, though, isn't it? Cause
it is, but what I'm saying is ultimately it all comes down to footballers, doesn't it? What they do is like we were talking on the other live, like Everton don't go anywhere and shock those wins, because whoever it is in the team doesn't perform that day or whatever. It's not necessarily on the manager. Don't get me wrong, I look at managers, I'm just playing a bit of devil's advocate.
But that's what Monday to Friday's for, though.
Is it? No,
that's literally what Monday to Friday's for, though, to change that, isn't it? Change the mentality, change the way people play. Because you can look at, if Barry does something on a Saturday, then surely Monday and Tuesday are like trying to rectify what that issue is.
That should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah, of course it should. Or if you're a coach, you spend Monday, if you're a man, if you've got, well, obviously all clubs do, you have analysts and stuff, and it's their job on a Sunday or whatever to go through all the videos, go all through the tapes. It's their job to understand what the role of a certain player is when he plays, and where to run and what to do, and what other players should do of being affected by that. So really, in reality, you should be getting better week in and week out. This is why managers get the sack. It's not necessarily because the players aren't winning games, it's because you're not seeing an improvement on how they play week in and week out. You go back to Dyche with us, that's why he got the sack, is because what he was trying to do wasn't working, and we weren't improving, and the results were following suit. We wasn't saying anything, and I'm not saying that's Moyes, I'm just saying that's what Monday to Friday's for, isn't it? Is to Barry should get better every single week because of training, right? We watched you on Saturday. Great opportunity, you were running into this area, don't do that anymore, run into that area, but come back, whatever it is, whatever that is, it's supposed to take the edges off. And that's why coaches are so massive. It's like Pep, isn't it? Pep has to have a prototype player intelligence, and then he buys that, and it doesn't even matter what position. I think Jack Grealish is actually a really good indicator of that. It's like, how much do they soak up what they're being offered? He brings in Jack Grealish because he's so intelligent as a footballer, and he does this thing and he turns Jack into something completely different. He done the same to Thierry Henry at Barcelona. It's like, that's a manager's role, isn't it? A manager is to take a player, realise how intelligent they are, and go to them, right, I want you to do this job. And that's what you work on Monday to Friday. So players should be improving all the time. We should be seeing Alcaraz improve, we should be seeing Dibblin improve, but it comes down to what they get to do on the pitch, isn't it? Ultimately, that's what it comes down to, isn't it? James Garner's have to adapt to right. He'll have to adapt to right back. So it'll be every day. Leighton Baines, right, and Seamus, seeing you do this, I don't want you to do that anymore. Body shape. How many times did you say about Beto about coming to the ball, when the ball's coming to him, being face on instead of square on? It's like, that's just basic things, isn't it? So we just want to see those little improvements.
That's what the training's there for, isn't it? Because that's how you really do work with players, isn't it? You work. One thing it doesn't look like Everton do, and it definitely didn't do this with Dyche. Benitez, I don't know whether Lampard did it or what, but it doesn't look like with Everton. Sometimes there's patterns of play. It never looks like, if you look
it's
at...
more off the cuff, innit?
I think we're coached really well at certain aspects, and I think you can see that. And I think the managers lifted them up to believe that they can be better than they are and all of that kind of thing. And we're definitely a better sort of football team than we were. Results, you know, whatever, at the moment, like, not showing enough goals. I think that's a big thing. But I think we're definitely playing much better football, but much more palatable to sit and watch. But it's... I do still think it's a little bit off the cuff. Whereas if you watch teams like, I know City, probably too excessive in the other way of this is what we do. But I look at the likes of Arsenal, or I look at, say, Bournemouth, who you see a really, really well coached Bournemouth for what they have. And it's the patterns of play around the box, the give and go, and full-backs joining in. And we'd still give it to Grealish and hope he can create something. Give it to Njai and hope he can create something. And I think the next thing for Moyes has got to try and develop that is, and it might, again, when you have better footballers, it makes the session so much easier, doesn't it? When you've got more intelligent players and people who naturally want. I've seen a bit of Leeds yesterday, only a little bit, but more so for Villa. And it's still how high Luca Dean is and how involved he is when they're going forward. Like, he's not the greatest defender. We knew that. He wasn't the greatest defender. Mikalenko's a much better defender than Luca Dean. But Luca Dean is miles better going the other way. The way he passes a ball, the way he gives it and goes. He's always on the move. Always on the move, Luca Dean. Always. And sometimes he's making runs for no reason because he ain't getting it. But he's taking people with him. I'd say no reason for him, but he's making that run because the fullback then, I can't leave him. I've got to go with him. Knowing you're not going to get it. And then that space opens up for a John McGinn or a Rodgers or someone like that. Whereas I think when it's Mikalenko, and you can see he's trying to do a little bit more. It's just his final ball's not great, but he's trying to do it a bit more.
He's not good enough, is he?
And Brien on the other side wasn't doing it. He would occasionally, just when the space opened up, but he's a 6'6" centre back, so can never have a go with him. It's just he wasn't using that. James Garner gave it a bit more against Fulham, give us the option, nice footballer, naturally wanted to move forward. But even he, a few times in that first half when it was rolled back to him, the ball should have been whipped in first time for Barry to attack or players to attack, and he took a touch and then the chance is gone. And it's those little patterns, play it in, get it back around the side. How often do Everton get into the byline and roll it across? And Jai ironically did do it against Fulham, and Beto missed the kick, but Beto got cleared away and we actually scored from it, didn't we? With the other one was offside. But against Spurs, he got in early and Jai sponged Spence, got in, rolled it across and that was the one Beto missed his kick and Grealish. That should be happening 6 or 7 times a game. And some of that should be from your full-backs. It shouldn't always be in Jai. But we don't have those patterns of play.
Which is mad though, when you've got like 2 inverted wingers, to not have overlapping full-backs is just criminal.
It's mad,
absolutely criminal. I don't really know how you open teams up if you don't, because
especially if they sit,
then you are just waiting for Grealish and Dyer to do something off the cuff.
Well, Spurs is the case in point. Spurs came, and again we talked about Spurs before, and I can't believe I really like Thomas Frank, but I look at Tottenham and just think doesn't work. You're playing for corners and throw-ins with a squad that's incredible, really, when you look at it compared to our 20. All they did was they just blocked everything off. They just put 2 banks of 4. And just played for corners and throw-ins. Do you know what I mean? So Everton just passed it in front of them and didn't...
But it worked, didn't it?
No, it worked. It got them a result. But what I'm saying is, when teams with much less ability can come and do exactly the same, you're going to struggle, aren't you? West Ham came, let's be honest, for 65 minutes just had 2 banks of 4. They had 9 men behind the ball. Then they had a 10-minute spell where they broke and scored.
Villa done the same.
And then they could have won the game, West Ham, and then reverted back to hanging on. Villa did the same. Villa came. It blew me mind. Such a good side come and just tried to get a draw. It was mad. But they got it. Because Everton weren't capable of breaking them down because we ain't got the fullbacks going. And that's what I'm saying about the patterns of play. There's no overlapping fullbacks for inverted wingers. And when Kieran Dewsbury-Hall's playing off the striker, he just wants to knit it all together. He doesn't want to burst past you.
Which is why I'm desperate to get Alcaraz back in there, because I just think he's that man, he'll make that extra run as well, and like I say, he'll get a shot away, pass the ball. Do
you think he's too worried if he's got Dewsbury-Hall and Idrissa as the 2 deeper midfielders? I just think there's no coverage.
I just think the problem is we've got no pace in our team, and therefore if we lose the ball, we're so susceptible of being caught. Like, I noticed this over at Forest at Anfield, the pace on the break.
Yeah.
The difference in it. We've got no pace. We've got no pace in the team, so therefore it has to be like slow. And if you lose the ball, then you're in trouble, aren't you? If you know, especially with like Man United have got, say tonight, Fernandes, who can play one pass, and that's like a switch pass. And then that gets the opposite full-back over, and the next minute they've countered you. And we got caught there last year, didn't we? We got caught twice with high on the halfway line because they sucked us in. And then, because that's the problem as well, we've got no pace at the back at the moment, so it's
just no pace for
we can't like go too high up the pitch, so therefore we can't. As a team, there's gaps in the team.
Yeah.
And also when you think about when Moyes came in, for those first 3 or 4 games, remember like he started getting us to pass, but the pass was like so slow and laboured, but it was like getting players to remember what football was about again. Because the passing, and it just comes down to that, doesn't it? When you watch really well coached teams with good players, it gets zipped around, doesn't it? So quickly, and there's never ever a worry of like, you just mentioned it there, a player taking a first touch. Good players don't need to take first touches. They don't ever think about it because they know football now is so quick that everything has to be straight away. But then some of our players might think, if I don't take a touch and I just hit this out, then...
But don't you think that's where like Dewsbury Hall being deeper could help, because he will move the ball quick, so you don't need that.
But I think though the problem is though with Dewsbury, I want to see Dewsbury Hall come deep, but I don't think Moyes is prepared to play in Alcaraz as well, because then he'll think the midfield's too lightweight. Because Alcaraz does give the ball away, but he gives the ball away in trying to go forward. But it makes our midfield almost become 2-1-1 rather than 3. And I think with Abuna, with someone who can get around the pitch a little bit, it's 3 in midfield, whereas Carlos Alcaraz, he's more of a number 10. And I think that's what worries Moyes, because I don't think he thinks we are, because we miss so many chances that it's, if we were putting the ball in the back of the net, it wouldn't be an issue, would it? It just wouldn't be an issue. The chances those 2 players make.
You're going to give the ball away in that position now, aren't you? Because you're taking risks, that's how you're getting it.
And also, if you've not got overlapping full-backs, you should have enough at the back. We just said, how do you create goals then? You know, like, it's got to be something.
No one breaks on you more than 4 players, nobody, and therefore you should always have 4 players. We're going to
get goals, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because we'll have to do something.
No,
that'll be interesting to see whether in the next couple of games, the next 3 or 4 games, there is some kind of situation created to see who the replacements are going to be, or is it going to be the next cab off the rank? Do you know what I mean? Like someone, Tim's playing well, so we'll play Tim and, you know, Dewsbury Hall, and maybe put Garner back in there. Or, well, actually, Diblin's not doing it, but Carlos Alcaraz has done all right, so we'll put him on the right. Do you know what I mean? I hope it's not like that. I hope it's like, there's a fucking big calendar on the wall with the countdown, and every day it's got like a picture of Tyler Dibling going, that's you, that's the day.
Well, he did mention him the other day. He's not done that before.
But that's the point, isn't it? It's like, and every game he gets like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, building up to that, and basically going to the kid, you've got 6 weeks or whatever it is of playing in the first team, and it's up to you to grasp onto this. We're giving you that, because I just don't want a situation where it's like we put Carlos Alcaraz over there or whatever and it doesn't work, and then we go, oh, it's the next one, it's the next one. I really hope there's a plan in place, because it's not there's not going to be a shock, is there, after the Chelsea game? They are leaving. Right, okay, injuries, Mail and Roll, I do believe he'll have got the hernia fixed to be back, so we've got all those midfielders ready. It just makes sense. But the right-hand side is the one where you're like, oh, what does he do? What does he do?
It should be Dibbling now.
I was going to say, I was literally about to say,
it shouldn't even be an afterthought, should it? It shouldn't even, but we're sitting here with, 5 games to go, and we've not seen the kid for the last 2 games.
But why do you think he's getting managed like he's just come from like the 2nd division of France or something? Played the whole of the Premier League last year.
It is odd.
I can't.
It's a strange
standards.
He mustn't be performing at the level.
Well,
Southampton obviously just didn't have any standards, and he's come in and maybe he might be just waiting. They might look at him and go, "You'll get knocked off the ball too easy in the Premier League now this year." Whereas, you know, we're watching the YouTube highlights of the kid, and you know what I mean.
They're like, we saw him a couple of times live.
No, I know. He destroyed us at Goodison in the cup.
Yeah.
you've got to have him right, haven't you? You've got to have him right as well, so that when he does come into the team, against Arsenal at home, expectation, and he's rubbish again, he was in the Palace game.
I mean, he didn't come on against Fulham, did he?
No.
Hasn't come
winning
on
3-0 at home.
He hasn't come on since.
When's he coming on? You're winning 3-0 at home.
We were winning 2-0.
2-0, sorry, if you win 2-0 at home.
No, it's not as he should be on. He should have been ready to go on, but the manager, obviously, for whatever reason, at the moment, doesn't feel like.
Because obviously, the longer it goes, it's the less confidence we all have in him as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And then that becomes an issue. Then people look at him then as if to go.
And every time he does something, you go, because you think.
And the thing about it is, right, for me with Dublin, right, I wouldn't be that bothered. I wouldn't be that bothered if he didn't play and he came on and had little moments. These players can take like a year to get up. But the African nations has blew a hole in the season. That position has to be filled. We are losing one of our best two players. Many would say our best player for 5 weeks. Yeah. The space has to be filled, and we have no other right winger.
We're all terrified there's going to be twice.
And we knew this when we bought him as well. Let's not forget, we knew he was going. That whoever came in, we were all saying, right, we have to get. All summer, what's the first thing? Right winger. Well, it hasn't quite played out the way we thought it was going to play out. But they knew, so it was like whoever they bought, they had to have a plan of like, if it's him, and we went after him for a month. So there had to be that thing of, we're buying him, we know everything about him, and this is the plan. And the plan is to get him ready for this date. Now, of course, there will always be up and downs in that plan. Not quite ready, we bring him in, we'll take him out. If that wasn't there, I wouldn't be bothered. I wouldn't be bothered if we barely saw him. I don't think it's the same issue as Barry. Barry's like, there's nobody else, you've got to play, mate, and you've got to get to that level as quick as possible, because it's the most important place on the pitch. But for me now, it's like, if Dylan doesn't start there, like against Arsenal, then you've just said it. If it's Dwight McNeil, Christmas is ruined.
The
8 o'clock on a Saturday night as well.
Macker says, was he sacked or did he quit? Could have sworn the Athletic said he told Felwell he couldn't get any more out the players. He was sacked. He was told 2 weeks before he was getting sacked. That was PR trying to make him look better. He hadn't scored in 9 out of 11 games. He'd have been sacked if there'd have been anyone in charge of the club. He'd have gone in September and October. Someone said before, I'd like Daniel Barton, I think it was, said I'd like to see Dewsbury all in the middle, deeper, and Alcaraz in the 10. But I don't think he will, and I don't know why.
No, it's weird because, like I say, last year he was good. You know, it's almost as if that hasn't happened. I don't get it.
What about Tom says here, with the strikers not scoring, should we give Njai a go in the false 9 and play Dibbling wide?
Well, no, for the reasons we've just said. I mean, he's obviously got no faith in Dibbling either, has he? So, so I mean, it all. See, the longer it's going on, the summer transfer recruitment just looks mental to me. The longer it's going on in terms of,
again, everything in the moment can be. You can see it. You might see this differently in March. Dibbling might be smashing it, roll, and then we're going, actually, that signing's a good sign. Barry might have got it.
That we lost so many first team players, and we've only signed 2 that are guaranteed starters in our starting 11.
But who left? He was playing. The core he was playing, wasn't he? And he was in every week. Dom was injured, so he wasn't really in. If the core is the only,
he would be in, wouldn't he?
And Branthwaite, I don't know. Leeds don't play him.
He'd be in for us.
Leeds don't play him.
Moyes was playing the money until he got injured.
He doesn't score, which is what Leeds.
No, I know he could play for us because Nars don't score either. But
no, but that's what I'm saying. Dom, I think's the least of anyone's worries. Do you know what I mean? But the Corey's probably a bigger miss than we all maybe thought, because he was physical. He got you the goal, didn't he? And I think you've said it it's his pressing, isn't it? That ability to press from the front helped whoever was up there with him. But what I find really strange is, just with the manager, is they were prepared to let the Corey go, weren't they? The Corey sat here and told us he wanted to stay and blah, blah, blah. So Everton were prepared to let him go. But we've put a player in who isn't really like him in Dewsbury Hall. And I like Dewsbury Hall, so I think Dewsbury Hall should be in our midfield, maybe a little bit deeper. Yeah. So really the closest player we have in that role is Alcaraz, who can play. So then you go, okay, well, what about having someone else there then? is it Njai? Well, he tried Njai against Palace centrally and he didn't have a kick. And when he put him on the right, he was on the game. He sets the winner up, doesn't he? Scores the pen. So why not give Dibbling a go on that rolling?
I don't know.
I think maybe just because we've hit a little wall, he was thinking we'll just make sure we've got 3 lads who are in midfield then to try and deal with it.
Probably is, like Fed said, it's the... If Dewsbury-Hall's in the 10, he's not a 10, is he? So it's basically we've got 3 in midfield, haven't we?
And again, you can even get away with that if you've got 2 flying fullbacks. You can have a flat 3 and then all of them join. Because Idrissa, I don't think...
if you had a 4
analysing the game against Fulham and where our midfield players were. So for the first goal, Tarkowski hits the bar with the header.
Yeah.
We've got Idrissa going again, Tim and Abunam in and around the 6-yard box. Dewsbury-Hall isn't anywhere even near the box.
Yeah.
He's sat between the penalty area and the halfway line D. So quite clearly, he's almost took on the number 6 role there because he's a footballer.
Yeah.
He's good on the ball, and obviously Moyes had used those 2. But that's okay, because Abunam does travel well and he's strong, but that to me then sort of says, well, you could try Alcaraz there then, or you could try a Dibbling there, or maybe give Njai another go at it and go, can you link it? Because who knows if it's Tierno Barry? Maybe Alcaraz can feed Barry. He should do for Beto. Maybe we get more out of Barry that way. We just don't know, do we? But
so I'd have Alcaraz in there before you put Dibbling in there, because for me, Dibbling's been brought in for the right wing.
Although Southampton, like their thing, they see him.
But they were working his way in, aren't they? So if he's not ready to play on the right wing, he's definitely not ready to play in the 10, is he? So for me, Alcaraz is a proven Premier League. We've seen it. We've watched him. It's not like we don't know what we're going to get with him. You'll get hard work. You'll get, like you say, you'll give the ball away at times because he's being adventurous and trying to go forward with it. I'm not saying he's some worldie, but
I think the proof's in the numbers, isn't it? The proof's in the numbers of oldest team in the Premier League, least amount of subs. They're the numbers. They prove basically what's going on, which is the manager is resistant to change. I'd have kept the core. I think Moyes would have liked to have kept the core.
Maybe the numbers didn't work.
But the numbers probably didn't work. He probably wanted a 2-year contract. He probably only offered them 1. He wanted to stay. I'd have kept him because I think there's no one quite does that job who can play as a midfielder. And whatever you think
got the engine to get as a 10.
Whatever people thought of him, he could play as a midfielder and as a split striker at the same time.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Because
he can get round the pitch. Now, there was varying degrees of how that worked, but I just think, again, I went back, say, at the end of the season, I was saying you can't be losing players who were starting in your team. And we lost them, fair enough, but we replaced them with someone who's not like for like, because I think we got to that point in the summer where we were obviously missed out on a lot of targets. And Dewsbury-Hall's not like for like, but that's fine. We need to improve our midfield anyway. And Dewsbury-Hall does improve our midfield, that's fine. But he doesn't play. So it's more like it's more like where you'd have Tim Abunam where he's playing. That would be the role where you'd say, and I still think Tim is more of an advanced midfielder. I just don't think he's got to that level yet. Of he's the one who could play maybe further forward.
Like the Decore
role, because he's got the attributes. He can get around the pitch well, but he hasn't got that game intelligence yet.
But if you think about last season, hadn't Alcaraz got into the team and pushed Decore out?
No, I think half the problem is that Alcaraz can't go the other way though. Alcaraz can only go that way.
So I think he can.
And look at his size as well. Look at it. That Moyes usually like saying you bring Jake O'Brien. He'd bring Jake O'Brien. Why would you bring Jake O'Brien? Because of his physicality. That's what the manager wants. So Alcaraz straight away is a smaller player. Doesn't know we can trust him on the ball. And they'll go through all the numbers. How many opportunities does this one player make? I'm not like arguing. I'm just saying this is all the stuff, isn't it? It's about like they work it all out to like how many points does this all make? How many points? And I just think with Dibbling, one of the big issues is you're bedding in Barry and you want to bed in Dibbling. And I'm with you. I look at the situation in the summer and go, for the first 10 games of the season, mostly only 2 players have come into the team that were bought, and then Barry comes in and makes it 3, and I still don't think that's enough, especially with Michael Keane playing. That's not against Michael Keane, but suddenly you've gone back to a player that you bought in 2016. You're already going, you look at the team and you're like, No, this is the same Everton team I've been watching.
Like when we signed the Garner on a new contract, Jesse Garner, sorry, wasn't expecting him to play every minute of every game still. You know, like
I was.
I was hoping in the summer they would have started to work towards.
No, but maybe they are now. Maybe they are now. But the point being is, it's like we're not seeing that turnover quick enough. And Moyes is saying, I've got to bed in Barry. I've got this other kid. I've got this Merlin role I'm trying to... And it feels like it's like there's so many players.
And you look at his career, it's not what he does, is it? He's never done it before, has he?
He's not the manager for a transition. Which
is what we said earlier on, is I can't grasp the way we've worked in the transfer market doesn't represent the manager.
But also though, if you're Angus Kinnear and you're the owner, and he comes knocking at your door going, I want a 32-year-old Thomas Souček for 25 million, you're going, no, not a chance, because your contract says that you're here for another 2 years, sorry. Not a chance.
But I totally get it, but there's just no...
it's 18 months now.
But there's no synergy.
No, I agree, but the point being is it's almost like I agree, it's like it's one, and you've got a foot in both camps, because you're like, Moyes doesn't help these people, but buying Thomas Souček for 25 million on a 3-year contract doesn't help the football club, does it? Because the minute Moyes leaves and the new fella comes in, let's just say that happens, I'm not saying that will happen, and he goes, I don't want this fella. He's 35. He's got a year left.
He can't run.
He's got a year left, and I don't play like that. And then he goes, right, gonna get rid of you, and he just goes, no.
But that's what. But what's mad is that the current manager wants that type of player. Does not got them, so it's
that's
no, I agree.
Because you know the Dibbling thing, where he brought the Dibbling thing out in the press conference. I'm guaranteed he's had pressure from above. The whole strategy of the club is obviously, you can see by the way they've gone into the market, is to buy younger players, blah blah blah, and the fact he mentioned, I'm looking forward to giving him minutes. I think he's been told, you need to start giving him minutes. I don't think he wants to, but I think he's getting told. Because
but he did say he wanted him in the summer.
I think the difference wouldn't be being told. I think that what probably would happen is, I imagine, is the phone call would be, what is the plan for this player? What's happening with this player? How do you see him developing? Why
have we paid
40 million quid for this player? Why have we invested so much money in this player if we're not developing him? And that's where the managers have to go, but we are developing him. We're developing him every single day in training, to where when he's ready, we'll give him a chance, and hopefully that chance is in December. Moyes doesn't have the power, does he really? Because he's only got 18 months on his contract, so it's not like he can dictate to these people. And they don't have the... they're not looking at through the eyes of Evertonians who've been here who've been watching the club for 30 years. They're looking at cold hard business of like, we'll just get rid of you. And they might look at it like when they brought him in, like they brought Ranieri in, of like, you're steadying the ship for the next fella. It's just that this ship needs a lot more steadying than Roma did, because Roma hadn't been on its arse for like 5-6 years. So this club needs steadying, it needs roots. You're the fella to do that, and while you're doing that, we're looking at the next fella, and we're preparing these nice players for them. It is a bit weird. It is all a bit weird.
But because that's the thing, is like, is he preparing them well enough? Because he wants here and now, because he's only got an 18-month contract. I don't know. It all just there's just no synergy to it all.
But it's whether we ever would have got that synergy, isn't it? Because when you look at like when he came in, it's like, who would you have given the job to? Because all these good up and coming managers, but a lot of them just fail.
We don't know the whole picture, do we? As in the wide view. He's got a big view of what's happening, and he might be going, he needs work, and by this day he'll be ready. We're hoping he'll be ready there. This player will be ready here. Talked about Asnu, quite clearly Asnu ain't going to be ready, so he's going to go on loan, because he's not at where they think he should be. So he's going to go out on loan. But every day till we get to the January window, he's playing with Premier League players, working against Njai, and that'll get his strength up. Then he'll need a run of games, which will be Getafe probably, it looks like. And then with the intention that he comes back in the summer and he's ready to go. Same with like Harrison Armstrong.
But he'll come back with no Premier League experience. Which is
but he played again in La Liga, won't he? I get it, but
he still won't play, will he?
I suppose the one thing they'll probably look for was someone like him.
But he won't play again, will he, next year? Because he'll be a 20-year-old with no Premier League experience. He doesn't play.
But he could go and play in La Liga and do really well, and then come back for day one, couldn't he?
It's physicality more than anything else, isn't it? It's what
like you say, it's what he wants.
No, but it's his size, isn't it? Though, like Asnu clearly isn't ready physically, so they'll have him on a training plan now. Which if they send him on loan, he'll continue on that training plan. And it's a difference bringing a lad in. You could say, well, he's been on loan already, yeah. But if he was on loan and he was like, it didn't matter whether he was like stick thin or he had muscles on him. Now they'll be trying to make him physically stronger for when he comes back to the Premier, and that's what they might have found with Dibbling. Boarding with from a club that had no standards, and no one can disagree with that. They got 11 points in the Premier League. They had no standards.
They're
the kind of fans that probably think more about ships on the Sonnet during the week than they do than they do
Sonnet
about the bleeding about the football team. Honestly, do you know what I mean? So his standards was like nothing. He'd have a little, Now he's come to a club where it's like. And that's right. Listen, let's get it right. When he played against Palace, he was atrocious. He was absolutely atrocious. He looked like a little boy on that wing. He just looked lost. He looked at the ground, wanted to swallow him up that day. And Moyes might have looked at that and went, I'll take him out of this experience and I'll try. It's not. That's what I said. I don't think it's a problem. It's only a problem because of the AFCON. I'd happily just seen Jai all season and then this kid just get opportunities as the season went on. Little bit of time here and there. Don't get me wrong. Dwight McNeil should never have come on the pitch ahead of him. But never. But if the manager has to make that statement once too many for me. But if he has to make that statement once, then he's already made it. Let's hope. But I mean, I
think just when you look at the squad, if you go. I don't know. It's just like they brought in Al New and they seem surprised that he's not at the level. They brought in Dibbling, they seem surprised he's not at the level. They brought in Barry, they seem surprised he's not at the level. What the fuck are they doing? I don't get it, because they've all come in and there's no other plan for them. Because if they knew he wasn't ready, either we bought him, we sent him out on loan. Sound perfect. That's what these other clubs do. They develop players.
Come in while we were in America, didn't he, in August?
But even so, if you're buying him and he's not ready, right, I'm buying him, I'm dropping him out on loan. Someone would have took him on loan, like in a drop.
But they might have thought, again, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but they might have thought he's got all the potential, which is why we want to buy him. And we've seen him play in La Liga with Valladolid, and he done all right.
Yeah.
He's at Bayern Munich, he's just played in the World Club. We'll have a look at him and we might be able to bounce him up to speed. Michalenko's fine.
Yeah.
We're all right. And then he come in and got an ankle injury, so he missed the first opportunity he had to play, which was Mansfield at home.
Yeah.
In the cup he was injured for. So that opportunity came and went. He'd have played against Mansfield at home. That came and went. So then all of a sudden it's the Premier League then, and they're looking at him going, let's see if we can build them up, get them up, and he's just not got to where they want.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying these players are ready, by the way. But why are we buying players that aren't ready when we haven't got enough players?
With varying degrees.
No, that's fine, but we haven't got enough players, though, have we?
No, but listen, I get it, but I'm just saying.
Do you know, if we had enough of a squad and you're adding them into it?
We missed out, didn't we? Can I just... Stephen, I've been to the Dell and I've been to the new stadium. Southampton fans are grim. Simple as that. Just saying what I'm saying. I've been to the Dell and I've been to the new stadium. Southampton fans are grim, mate. Absolutely grim. Honestly, they're more worried about what time they can get home for their hot pot than they are about fish supper, isn't it? Down there, fresh. So yeah, I've been to both. Watched Everton win at both grounds down there. So they are grim.
Fair play.
Also, Moyes said himself, didn't he? He said he missed out on loads of players.
Yeah.
And maybe you just get to a point where you're not accepting players of a certain standard, so you're more willing to say, I'll bring in younger players who haven't got a defined ceiling yet. And that's the other side of it, isn't it? And that's up to you to develop then, isn't it? So it's just really horrible in this bit. This bit's always really horrible because there's so much,
but it's been this bit for 30 years.
No, but our problem.
I don't know. We've had moments, though, haven't we? That's the point.
Had good times, have we, Bill?
No, but the point being is, Everton are always in flux, aren't they? They're always in flux. At least when we had Moyes the first time round, there was a set. 9
of the 11 years.
But there was a set of years. Let's not forget, where we did roll in from one to the other and kept players and built on those players. And when we got to like 7 or 8, We got to 809, 9, 10. Okay, we lost Lescott in that. Those 3 years, we had a really consistent year. And I think years we were good football. And there was no other...
We were just the odd player, sure.
We were just, there was no real drama. We knew we were skint. Whereas other years, I mean, beginning of 08, 09, I think we were terrible, and then we went on a 25-game unbeaten run to finish 5th and get to a cup final.
Yeah.
So that was a bit dodgy. And then we had a couple of seasons where we had slow starts, but we built on that. So it's getting through this bit, isn't it? And getting to maybe a place where he's like, I'm comfortable now. We're going to be fine.
I just get frustrated with the recruitment. We just make it look so... Like, you look at it, so we bought players that the manager doesn't want to play. Just right now, he doesn't want to play them.
Yeah.
We bought no pace.
Yeah,
bought no full-backs, and they're absolutely glaring. I mean, it's just painful. It's like, how many years?
I agree with you. But I'm also frustrated with... There's always got to be a starting point.
Yeah.
Right, so I want us to buy these kind of players that we develop. I want us to, but I do understand there's gaps. But if we just keep filling the gaps because we all want to feel better about ourselves, we've got 2 left backs, and both of them aren't great, but at least we've got 2 left backs. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I'd rather take a chance with Asney, and he might turn out to be great. He might not.
I've got no problem with that, but I think
that's where we are.
But if you're buying, like, again, we said it on the other, but if you're going for Tete as your first signing, right back, and then you don't get another right, and I know we've got about 1 million right backs at the club, but none of them are good enough to start by
well, we went for 2 right backs on deadline day. So before the window really kicked in,
and at the end,
and on the very last day of the window.
So how can you not sign a right? It's not like signing a striker.
No, listen, they've made a mess of that. They've made a mess of that, in my opinion. They made a mess of it, not just saying to Nathan Patterson, you're done, see you later, mate. Go, leave the club. And then almost being forced to buy one.
Yeah.
They've made a mess of it. That's one position I just think they've made an absolute...
They should have let him have his move. They treated him poorly as well, really.
And they should have helped the lad. No problem with the Seamus situation. I think it's no issue at all. But they should have brought one in. They've made a mess of that situation. Simple as that. If you don't have
bring someone in who's an offensive...
If you don't have first choice players, like you just said, if you don't have a first choice player who plays in that position, then you've got something fundamentally wrong with your squad. If you're looking at other positions before filling positions that are needed, then you've made mistakes. And they did make a mistake. They can say all day about Jake O'Brien, and they can say all day about we've got Seamus. Nathan Patterson should not be an Everton player. I feel sorry for the lad in many ways. I don't think he's done nothing wrong apart from not developing, and I just don't think that's
being able to stay fit.
And I just don't think that's his fault. Players sometimes just don't develop. He hasn't developed because he hasn't been able to stay fit. He should have been allowed to have moved away and got on with his football career, and now he's stuck in limbo.
Yeah.
Now he's not going to be used, and he's still out injured, and it's like, was he trying to get stronger and fitter, and that's caused his hernia, because that's how they can come, isn't it? And it's like, you should have just let the kid go. You know he's not good enough. You didn't play him in the last 2 games of the season when you didn't have another right. You brought Seamus back into the team you should have just let the lad go and get on with his career. I think that's where they've made a massive mistake. But
yeah, they have been. Ian Barron, we are going to change it. It's getting the new stadium. It's just I just think there is a happy medium to try to get to, but I do think
how happy
we're in that flux bit of like we're trying to do things differently.
But it's like you get to the summer, and right this second we've got 2 players that start. That's it, guaranteed to start, and one of them we don't own. So in the summer we're going to have some decision to make on that. So what is it all again? We can't do it all again in another transfer. I mean, when does this cycle ever end?
Do with which? So
you get to the summer, right?
And get another loan player in January, you mean?
No, so say we get to the summer. We don't bring anyone in January because likelihood we won't anyway, because we've done 1 million of those transfer deadline days. So you get to the summer. If he's not going to develop any of the younger players, we'll see. So no one else is starting. We've got what we've got. You're losing Grealish straight away. And then everything that was still a problem, innit? You still think you're still going to need fullback, you're still going to need pace, and now you're going to have to replace Grealish or buy him or whatever you're going to have to do. But then that's going to take away from your budget. But
that's football, isn't it?
No, but what I mean is that so then you're back to it, and it'll be, well, we can't do all that in one window because
Well, last year was a squad numbers game, wasn't it? So they had to do more.
But it's not even squad numbers.
We're not losing anyone in the summer, though.
The only one we're
not losing anyone.
No, we're not losing anyone we want. We don't want to lose. Keane. Obviously, McNeil will hopefully be sent packing and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll get rid of players that we don't want.
Natural wastage.
But you're still at the position where you're having to bring in a lot of starting players to improve this team.
But that's good though.
We keep getting told you can't do it in one window.
But I don't think.
But you can't bring in 9.
So say we get to the summer and you're bringing in players. So are you looking for another right winger because Dibbling isn't quite what we need or want?
No, baby.
And then
can't answer these in November because he might be brilliant.
Potentially, yeah, but. He's got to be given. It just doesn't look like there's a plan for him.
It never ever stops, though, Mike, does it? They won the league and spent $500 million.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is, it's like right now, it's like, oh well, you were at the start of the plan of it all, but then is there a plan? It doesn't look like there's a plan. And I'm worried that you get to the summer again and there's still no plan because those current young players have either arrived into the door and we've gone, oh fuck, these are nowhere near the level we thought they were, and we're panicking, which is what I think is, by the way. More than, we knew Asney was going to need... No, bollocks. We thought he was going to be the backup for Michaelenko, and then he's come through the door and Moyes has gone, no, he ain't. Dibbling exactly the same. They've come in thinking 45 million Premier League experience, he'll definitely be able to come on and make impact, and then they've got no miles off it. So they've got all that wrong already. This is the new super-duper team bringing people in. That's already been done wrong once. Moyes definitely wants a different demographic of player signing than what the club want to sign. So it's like...
But they haven't let him, have they?
No, but he's still controlling it by not playing the players they're giving him. It's like Moneyball, innit? There's the players and Moyes has come playing them, mate. And so when does it end? You know, like, it's just getting boring.
Well, it depends what you want. Do you want to become a development club or do you want to get results and win games?
You want to do both, don't you? But you've got to develop the players to develop them, haven't you?
I know, but it's for the sake of it.
But at the minute, we're both.
That's what he will say.
But right now, we are both. Well, we're not. We've got development players that we don't want to develop. And we're trying to get results, and we're not really getting loads of results. We're just in the land.
But maybe this was this season.
I'd rather take less points and those players are progressing and you can see something and you go, right, I've got something to look forward to. Or don't buy players like that and start winning games. I think the difference is, though, we're not doing either.
I think the difference is, though, next summer we could buy 4 starting players, right? So you could have 4 starters, but because you don't need to replace anyone.
Yeah.
So you buy 4 starters, and that's where you spend your money. So you add that to Dewsbury Hall, so that becomes 5. Barry, let's say, is 6. Let's just say, for argument's sake, Dibbling's playing. That becomes 7.
So where would your 4 starters be?
Well, you'll have a right back. You might have a new centre back. You might have a new left back. So let's just say that. Let's say you've got 4 new players. Let's just say next summer we suddenly got 7 players in the team, and that's 7 players from this summer. So 7 new players. So 7 new players within the space of, say, a year to 18 months, and that's you've got Pickford in goal. So that leaves 3 players left from last season. That wouldn't be a terrible transition.
No, it wouldn't. But I don't know if I have enough faith that we'll bring in 4 that'll start.
No, but that's just comment. Yeah,
but that's just
comment, though, isn't it? That's like you give. That's you giving your opinion.
And your earth as well, because we.
No, but it's just it's just looking at what's happened, isn't it? When was the last time we brought in like 4 players? I just drop into the starting lineup.
But it's something we're going to have to do, aren't we? Something we're going to have to do.
But it was something that we said this time last year we'd have to do. There's something we didn't. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, but Merlin Roll could turn into that player, couldn't he? And then you'd have 3. Tierney, Barry starts scoring, then there's 4. Yeah. Who are all starting, who've just come in the summer. If Dibbling starts ripping it up, then there's 5, and then all of a sudden you're going, that's an unbelievable window to get that many. Right now it's not great, I admit, but
it could be. I just don't see the manager dropping all 3 of them into the team to ever get that stage.
If Barry's got to start scoring, he won't be playing, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's not all on Moyes. Some of it's Moyes' fault.
They'll have had a year, won't they? They'll have a whole year of looking at players that they want, that hit the right demographic. This is their job now. I'm not saying they'll do it. This is their job, isn't it?
And he's got his whole team in who he's just brought in. In September, James Smith and the Nick Cox from United and the other fella they've got as well. Chris Howard.
I hope it happens again. It's just based on talking like we were talking about. We ain't going to win tonight at United because we just don't. We don't do well in transfer markets. I don't know the last time we did.
None of us can.
That's up to the.
Say that's
mad, isn't it?
That's up to these people. That's where they're going to earn their money, isn't it? That's where it is a whole new team at the in the background, and maybe they weren't assembled quick enough. And they've got to really listen. You live or die. Kevin Fell's just been sacked today. You know, there's some people who would have kept him at Everton, and he's been sacked at Rangers already because his decisions were terrible, and they've cost Rangers a lot of ground.
But thank you, because he gave us $8 million for Timothy.
But that's the way it is. So they've got to find a right back. They've got to find another centre back for me next season. They've got to find another left back. 3 of your 4.
Another centre mid for Drisser.
Yes, and you need
a right winger.
You need a right winger, and you probably need another striker.
And you need a number 10 because we haven't got one that he wants to play.
So you could have 4. You could have, say, 5 players coming in, and 4 of them could be starters. You've got to turn this team round. This was a team, or still very much a team, that is living in the bottom half of the table. If you want to make it a top half table, these players won't do it.
And next year, you know, we used to say Harrison Armstrong isn't waltzing into our team. By all accounts, he's absolutely on fire. He's 18. Yeah, and physically very good. I know he's got a bit of a groin injury.
No, like you say, you can flip everything to the other way. But history suggests, and just the way it's just watching Moyes in his career, it doesn't. I don't think he uses young players particularly well, and it's not his strength. And a recruitment.
But then he would go back and say he played 16-year-old Wayne Rooney, and he played 17-year-old Ross Barkley, and he played
16-year-old Wayne Rooney was still probably 12 months too late.
Seamus Coleman was only young when he got in, and Leighton Baines was 20. You know, he would go back and go, I have played young players throughout my history. Jack Rodwell was 16 when he gave his debut.
But Baines was older when and Coleman was 23 before he was starting. Stuff like that.
Well, it's 2009. 19, 20. But I'm saying he would say he's played these players, wouldn't he? That's what he'd say.
Yeah, I just don't think he's managed young people particularly great in his career. And he likes to try. I know there's nothing against that, but there's 2 ways of progressing the club. It's one, backing the manager with the type of players he wants. That'll start winning results, and then in turn he can attract better players. Or you go down the route we've got now. But I just feel like it just doesn't look like there's a path. There's a plan for those young players.
Hey, they won't be having this discussion on Everton TV tonight, will they?
Royal Blue Rich says, I'd like to see Alcaraz with Dewsbury all back in midfield, but when I see the training video with Alcaraz smashing them in from all angles, I knew he wouldn't get much game time for Fulham. We don't seem to like our players doing that.
Nope.
Jay Ratcliffe says, I 100% agree with what Mike said earlier. We simply won't be allowed to win tonight. We'll be shafted so hard we may as well leave the coach with our trackies around our ankles.
He definitely won't be saying that on Everton TV tonight.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure it's only him, it's not going to say that.
No. Wouldn't it be lovely to just go and upset the apple cart? Get the apple cart and just web it everywhere.
I mean, we won't, but we'd love it.
Because it's about time. And James Garner gets booked tonight. He misses the Newcastle game on Saturday.
Well, he's getting booked tonight, then.
Booked and there.
I mean, that's another thing, isn't it? The weekend, those games now. Moyes has got to start thinking as well.
There's tonight, a lot of games.
Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. Got to start thinking of all those games. Booking Garner, could he potentially miss tonight if he doesn't? It's Saturday, but if he doesn't miss Saturday, he could miss Tuesday. It's all those little things.
I think where we're at, you've just got to take. I know, corny, but you just go every day.
No, I'm not dropping. I'm not dropping players. I'm not dropping players for the sake of you. He's going to get a yellow card just by the very way he plays.
He was trying to think ahead with the Wolves Cup game,
but I'm thinking. I'm just saying the manager's going to have to start looking at the whole picture and go, I'm going to play this player for that, and that.
No, it's a fitness and levels and being able to run. Tom S, the North London Derby fans in a box. John Blaine did it for the Sunderland game. It's the maddest idea. Don't get it. It'll never catch on, in my opinion. I think it's a joke.
Yeah, I did talk about that a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? That was the idea that I decided I didn't want to do.
What was it?
Fans in a box and you're not told what the score is, you're just drip fed.
You're showing us still.
And at the very end, they reveal the score to you. And there's like four of you and 4 of them. So they did it for the game last night. and like Gary Lineker, Ozzy Ardiles, Michael McIntyre,
Yeah.
somebody else, and then 4 Arsenal fans. But they did it as the pilot for the Sunderland game, and John Blaine went down, and they asked me to go down. I was like,
Nope.
I've got work.
Yeah.
I have to watch the game.
Yeah.
So and also, could you imagine, my nerves couldn't stand that.
No,
I'd be
the
punching
worst thing,
walls.
couldn't pay me enough money to do it.
So, but that's going on YouTube tonight. But I don't know how they'll show you how you've done it.
Who cares? Let's be honest. No one cares. It's the worst idea I've ever heard.
I just don't think it just doesn't make sense, is it? Football, you're supposed to watch the games. Let's not make it a different. Let's not make it a different kind of watching a game of football.
It's not football, and it's not real football fans. So there you go. Right, that's enough. We're going. Everton, Man U. Come on, boys. See you later. Like, subscribe. See you after.